So we're going to look at the Yafa Shah now. It says, Rebbe Yafa Shah should be able to become the Fidarka. Let's see, try to get a reading on the Derech of the Yafa Shah. Shenimshach Evra Ma'arech Anpin. So we're still working on this phrase, Nadir Vagonis. So he says how to go. Shenimshach Evra Ma'arech Anpin. I think that was the idea that the original carving out or whatever process of Timsumin that goes through Eric Anpin starts this Evra Ma'arech, this Evra Vaganis idea, he says. Eric Anpin, the Klipa. So, in other words, we said the Eric Anpin of Klipa was an Olam Yitzira. And then he says that there are two words here that go together. Then the next one is Zoim. That comes from the Ma'atik, the Klipa. That's the ones that is, we're talking Evra V'Zoim, or Evra V'Zoim. He also has a Nalter V'Ganis. So let's see what else he says. Ma'atik, the Klipa, Shenisakin Ba'olam, Siyam. But this is Bear, according to that idea, using those words and the concept, he says, Haim Nadir, that's the concept of guarding. That is, Keneged Eric Anpin, the Yitzira, Bashar Partsufi Haklipos, the Yitzira. I don't know what he means, it's the guard for them. The gun is Keneged Atek, the Asiya, Bashar Partsufi Haklipos, the Asiya. So exactly what that was about, I'm not sure. There is a membes bet on this. I'm not sure. I remember looking at it. So let's look at it at the very bottom. 1 second. And it says membet. It says Ray b'matok b'devash shehevi kan divrik b'yafashah b'tosefis B'Sefes beer, Ayin Shom, V'Adaim Sark beer. So we still don't understand what he's saying exactly. V'yesh Devar B'Kavanasa. So now let's think about his Kavana. He acted the Klipa, Shekoko Godel Ma'od is a tremendously powerful Klipa. V'Yachol Hachri V'Oilam, it's able to destroy the world. The Kach, who Gonad V'Ela B'Sochel B'Shar Partsufi HaKlipa, so therefore it remains hidden amongst all of the other partsufim of the klipos, the siya. So in other words, it's back there, it's back and it's siya. It's some really, really bad stuff. The arech anpin, the klipa, she'ein kochel gadol kolkach, but Eric anpin, the klipa is not so powerful. Sagi b'shmira bilvad. So he says that all you need is shmira. That's the lashon natir. So he says the other one has to be ganis. This one just has to be contained. The Hailish who Shamok Shar Part Sufi Haklipos the Yitzira. Okay, so there's a very different idea here. Let's go back up to the top and let's see the next one. He says Ray Bezoar Chai. Should be so Yozoar Chai seems to have been the most what would you say that the many ideas but not put together easily. So let's see, Ray Bezoar Chai should be your kan Lifidarko now. So trying to get a reading on his derech. The Ira of his pashtus hatipa will be so. So that's what his position is. And we're talking about the spreading of the tipo to the yisod. It has to go with natir veganis. But the chidduch of Mevayir Avik of Zoyim Besod Yisod the Katniss. So originally, again, I'm not sure how this goes together, what the Yisod of Katniss does for me, but he says that it has to do with not the veganis, has to do with the Yisod in this state of Katniss. But now we're going to explain it that it goes a different way. It refers not to the Yisod of Katniss, but it refers to the Yisod of Katniss, V'Zal Sham. So he said B'Dillav. V'Yisod the godless, he said Shenimshach B'Tipa B'Sod or Kadimoah. So let's go slowly here. He says that the Yisod of godless is where you have Amshocha of the Tipa Besod or the original, the pure Tipa, I think, Oz Nater Tipa So then it is guarded. The gon is it hidden b'tzaddik. That is in the Yisodos of Zer Anpin and the Nukva. That's where he says it's tzaddik b'tzaddik. So ultimately, the tipa is going to be guarded and hidden away inside of those yisodas. Gemosha ba'arnel the elom me'inyan amshachos or zerua the tzaddik, and we have like this concept of the or zerua, the light which is planted for the tzaddik into here. He's got the concept of tzaddik and tzedek, which is the two yisodas. V'yesh yisod hapinimi. So he says, Ostes, so I'm not sure what this means. V'yesh sod hapanimi, Ostes, he says, Mora al hazivav panim b'panim. I don't know what this Ostes meant. So he says, V'yesh yisod hapanimi, again. Ostes mora al hazivav panim b'panim. Rav Tuvacha, that phrase, Asher Tzavanto, which you hid away, Esa or so the Esa, I guess he's going through these different this pasukim here. Esa or kitov, the light which is good, not there vaganis besod or kadamor. So again, he's talking about the tipa in the coming through to the Yisod in state of godless. Ki hud safam v'tamir vaganis panimi mekulam. So it's more hidden than all of them. The tove gone is begavor bepenimis, that its real goodness is hidden inside of it, in its inside. Kamavor be'etzrayim sham because zecha b'yisod the penimi. So here we're talking about the yisod the penimi, salvam the tamer v'gonis. So putting those words together, they're hidden, and hidden. Three different languages, so it's deeply hidden ad kan ein sham. So he's talking about the transfer into the yisod. I'm not sure what the difference is with the yisod the kadness, exactly what he means. I didn't really understand this. He's dropping these ideas. It's weird. Okay, that was good timing. So now we're moving on to the next one, which is number Vav. Okay, number Vav says Ray Od Babir Hamashulaf. Now we're going to the Gra now. So Bir Mishulav al Pi Hagrosh and his boyer Sheyesh Kan the Hagroa Girsa Hadasha. So this is the second time that we say that the Gra is working with a different Girsa. And it says instead of not here, it says notel, which is, let's see what he means by notel. He says Vahu Lashon Nisia. I'm not sure again. Nisia means lifting up. I'm not sure. V'nizbar Risham the Hainu so Nisias his pashtos chazder. So not that lifting up. It means traveling. So the movement. So v'nizbar Risham the Hainu so Nisias. This is the travel. This is the movement or the flow. His pashta, the spread of the chasdei the head, the chasodim of the whiteness is coming off the head of Eragonpin, with Hamesh spheres bechesed ad hod from those three spheros from chesed to hod. Just a little particular. Okay, I'm going to skip this Mem Gimel and go on to number Vav. It says now we say so when we had not the vegani seem to be a phrase that goes together. So now we're going to look at the word ganis because we just looked at the word not there, different ideas of what it could mean to be guarded. So we're talking about the guarding of the klipos, or we're talking about the guarding of the tipa, or different areas of kedusha. So let's look at ganis. Ray the ale, so he says, look up above Osa Kodim. Ki Lukal Hey Bi Urim Arishon is not there. So the first five, so actually there's six of them, but there's the first five have the word Bamilas not there, and is Bayer Gam Milas Ganis. So they go together. Kinata veganis. So that's once again that's the dichotomy where we had talking about previously could be male and female ideas. But at any rate, nata veganim Haim Inyan Echad called beer the Fidarko. So of course everybody had their own thing to say, but they all kind of put the two words together. Ein Sham Zulas, with the exception the Fiach beer Hashishi, the sixth one now, Shulha beer Shalagrua. His action is Bar beer Hamashulav, that in the beer Hamashulav, the Milu the gun is this word gun is who Inyan Bifne Asma, it's not the same as Natir. So he says over there, he says the word is natil, with natil lashon mate lashon nesiya. Over here, he says the ganis doesn't go with that. Final ini genizas or chesed hachivarta biyisod. So he says that it refers to the hiding of the or of chesed, which is the white, that is the whiteness that is coming off the head of Eric Anpen into the Yisod, Yisod or Hargonus L'Tzadikim. So that's the concept of bringing it into the Yisod. I guess it means a Betzilus. So now let's go on to the next one. The Kamo came to feed Eric Arizal. So now also similar to that is Bar Bebira Meshulav. The midas veganis, so this phrase veganis, Musav Lamata al Chad Elif Yomim. It really refers to what's down below, and this and another phrase which isn't easy to work with either, which is 1 out of 1,000 years. So of course that's the next one, and veganis Chad Elif Yomim Zeirim. So now ganis goes with this phrase. It goes, it's hidden away for 1 out of 1,000 days. Zeirim little days. Hu hakol inyan echad. He says that all of these words really go together. So you see it over there. Da 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 da. Okay, so now we have to go to chad la'elef yamim zeirim. What does that phrase mean? So he says, "Bebir inyan chad la'elef yamim zeirim." Ray la'el, look up above in Bosa Kodem. Siyiki defi harizal. Musaf Lamala al Midas Veganis. So he says, and it's hidden away for 1 out of 1,000 years. Small days rather. So he says, Rizal, Musaf Lamala al Midas Veganis. So it really refers to what's up about the word Veganis. Kol Inyan Echad. Ganis Chadla Elef Yomim Zeirim. So we want to read it like this. So it's hidden away. So ones are this 1 out of 1,000 days, a small day. So all of those words are words that need a lot of explanation. Bibira Meshula the Bibira Rizal is Bayer Indian Ba'orech, so he gets into it in depth. Al Pihag Damos Rizal Be'inyan Elef the Kadimor. It's like the 1,000 that goes with the original world. I don't know, Elef Kadmor, I'm not sure what he means for the original Tikkun, I'm not sure. So Elef Yomim the whole, the Elef Yaorim, so we have the Aleph going here, these 1,000 weekdays, then we have the 1,000 channels. So that's like name dropping on very different mysterious words. And let's look at the next one. So the beer Beor Yakar Sham, he's going to beer Lefi Darko, and he's going to talk about the Klipos, the Kam Maskil Indian Chodosh, that actually we're starting to talk about something new. Up until this time, that's what it was talking about. We talked about the snake and all the different aspects of it. But here we're talking about that. So now let's look at the words. He said, Chad Elef Yomim. Okay, you got that? 1 out of 1,000 days. So we also had 1 out of 1,000 days that are small. So that was another word, so etc. Ein ha'idyan elachitzonim. It's not talking about the Gitzonim. Ela ha'kadoshim. So what is it about the Kadoshim that they're talking about? V'hainu, so Shes. So he said it's talking about the third son of Adam Rishon, Shukul Chedek and Gedushin, Nishtal Shadol Achar Kach. So this is a portion, a piece of kedusha that develops after that. La'achar kain behevel now. That's what he means. Achar kach, after he's the third son. Kedefreshna. So he says like this: Who sowed madregos hakadoshim and mispashtim. So this is the secret of the madregos hakadoshim. This is the whole different levels of holiness and mispashtim that spread. That's a very vague. So and they're hidden. So he says that's the word vagonis. Shalom pashto, that they don't spread. Elisha shahavdech min a kodesh kedifrashna, but rather what it means is the separation between the tame and the kodesh. The yurt said, if you want, instead of a ratzaloma, that is, it's okay. It's chopped up of this pirish. So it's he says v'ratzalomer le'elef yomim zeirim is galia, but after 1,000 small days, it's revealed. What does that mean? Haina metzias on malchus, that is the reality of malchus. Shehi nikras elef dor, which is called also by the word elef, that malchus is called the 1,000th generation. V'hein yamechu yomim maleim gedolim k'mehazachar, but her days are not filled days, like they are Yomim Malayim, complete filled days, Yomim Malayim, the Gedolim Kameazoch, like the days of the male. Ela Yomim Zeirim, but they're small. So hey Zeira Kanoida like that, that's the concept of it. Now I didn't really get much out of this. I can't really find a string to try to pull through all the different things, but maybe would you be willing to listen to it one more time, and maybe we'll be able to find a kernel of Panemius here. So the Yor Yakar, as I said before, is the most difficult of these to make any sense out of. The Rabir Lipidarko, the Khan Maskel, Inyan Chodosh. Okay, no problem. Ke'adata Ivrik Besod Klipos Vachitzonim, Bekan Argid Besod the Kedusha Besod the Shono. Chad Elef Yomim. So this phrase, 1 out of 1,000 days. So let's take the phrase. Ein ha'inyan ela chitzonim. So this goes with what he said previously. It's not talking about the chitzoni, it's ela gadoshim, but it's talking about the gadoshim. Now, maybe we'll get some help if we look down at the very bottom and we see this mem dalad. He says rei gam bir yakar l'cholon. So the remark later on, shekasa bezev bezev l'shono sod hashmua. Tehila Omar Sod Hakitzonim. So it's the Seder of the Shmua. So what he's trying to say here in the order of it, Tehila Omar Sod Hakitzonim. First, he wants to talk about the concept of Kitzonim. V'achakach Omar Shorshim Penimis. And then after that, he wants to talk about their root, which is in the Penimis, the Kedusha, which starts in Kedusha. The Sod Haga. Kusam, so how it works and how it's sweetened. So that's supposed to be a hint of what we're talking about. He says now we're coming back to talk about the other side. We talked about the root, which apparently I'm not sure. Anyway, let's go on to number Vahainu. Let's go to Vahainu. He says, so Shes. So what are we talking about? He says this switch. The first part was doubles. That was Kain and Hevel. Now this part is different because it's not talking about these two klipos, which are heavy duty. It's talking about Shes, Shuhu Chelik Akadoshim, Shinishtal Shlo Acher Kach, who developed after the two brothers who were Kain and Hevel. Now, what does he want to say? How does this have to do with the concept of Chad Elef Yomim Zeirim? That's where I get lost over here. So we understand that now we're talking about Chad Elef Yomim Zeirim. We're talking about Shes. That is a third element, which is Kadosh. V'hu sod madregas hakadoshim amispashtim. Okay. So this is kedusha that spreads. Behind the alamim shalom mispashtu. So they're hidden, so that they won't spread. So that's the concept of vagonis. Ela shahivdil atome min the kodesh k'defarishno. He says once again. He says they're hidden. Madregas hakadoshim mispashtim. and they're hidden. So that's the kedusha and the madregas of kedusha. Shalo mispashtu. So it doesn't really spread. Ella b'shehivdil atame min kodesh ketifirashnu. But what it does is that it actually, I guess he's talking about. We'll see a little bit more. It separates a tumah from kedusha. V'yirtzar if a ratzel lomer. Here we go. The Elef Yomim Zeirim is Galia. After 1,000 small days, it's revealed. What does that mean? Hainu Mitzias and Malchus. What's the revelation? What's being revealed is Malchus. Shehi Nikras Elef Dor. So the word Elef goes with her. So he says. So he said the Chad Elef Yomim, one out of the 1,000 days. So the 1,000 means Malchus. Yomim, I'm not sure what it means, and then he says Zeirim. So you have to work on those words. So these are not full days. Are like the days of the male. So this is a concept that I don't really know. He says that the female has is she because you say that the Kabbalah is saying she's always wanting. Rats on the Kabel. She always wants. So therefore her days are not filled like the days of the male who's got it all and she wants to get it. Ella Yomim Zeirim, so hey Zeira connected that she's the little hey, something like that. Now there's a lots of stuff there that could be reused. I'm not sure how to make it work. Okay, so let's see. We're on 6:14. Okay, so let's see. Why don't we go now? We're almost out of time. We'll go and look at the